Live from the Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort Studio in Farmington Hills, Michigan, it's the Zia Oram Show.
شد مردوثة البايد شن بلا خيون بث نهرين معمورين شلامة وحباب براسي وين كلذانا يا كلذانا يا يا ذي ماني ون بكثا ودزونا أتامي ون قوات الدهوة خيري ون ما شما بشراب مشمي ما دم بشصب يمدمي ما أمثد ليلة لم كمي كلذانا يا كلذانا يا معموري ون وبرجد باب البنية ون قانون دخاية درية ون دش منك ما بقيلد ما حيلي كوش ما دخن دقاريلي آوا مثلو أنا خيلي كلدانا يا كلدانا يا كلدانا يا كلدانا يا كلدانا يا يا برونة أمتي جبارة أمت خوال اللخ بسفارة مرمتش محباورة كلدانا يا كلدانا يا كلدانا يا
شماية عزيزة بشكالة Zia Oram إلى نمبر 1 شو.
أنا ملبانة يلدا قلة قدار من إشلامي قمايا تأخوني Zia Oram وقدار إشلامي خن زودانا الأخواتي سالم جدو وأخواتي وأخوني جان يلدا خوشابو تتهاوى بصيخ أمه وآي قصيدة زين أمرنا دها إلى تجان Zia Oram بس وأني بتواب شماء
مقبول.
يا Zia Oram يا قورة الزونة خاثة يا Zia Oram يا قورة الزونة خاثة اكطلب طالو صاخوثة وبيث ملي بركاثة مريم حاسيل بابوخ مرحبة ومرطاواثة تولي أمخ كم خازنخ قورة نيخة ومكيخة اكشقلت وكياود بديوثة بعيانة ولبخ بصيخة مريم بتهاوي أمخ وعمرخ بتاوي يريخة بس قالت كم شارتن بلوشانة بابا وساوة إيشع وتلميذ دي بقاوت سورة محكاوة كالداي كم يقريلخ لذشولة رابة وطاوة طالخ كياون هوناي يا جان زي أورم كهند إيتا كم يقرت يلباند روح دايم مريا إيل بعيانوخ بصلوثة ديمة مريم مريا إيل بعيانوخ بصلوثة ديمة مريم وكشوقنوخ بشلامه
I'm Mario George Zoma.
This is Brooklyn Marie Hadir Yaldo.
I'm Isabella Alos.
This is Abigail Rita Hadir Yaldo.
I'm Grace Davish. Welcome to the John Zia Oram Show.
I'm Maxwell Munder Zoma. Shlama.
Shlama Maxwell Zoma. Maxwell Munder Zoma. Yilbert de Brati, Shlama Locho Khawatho Khatwatha, Yuchamoku, Ushetha Bishwa. كبيرة من نوخكم بقريلي على محاسي على جاني بهورة تمال. Thank you, Kamarmeli family dia. Thank you. He is married to my niece. And Oka Nasha Thela, Oka Eta, Kasha, they did what a beautiful job. I just want to pull out Patrick Sittu. Abuno, I don't know you, but the job you did, I'll own it for it. Not because of Johnny. How you felt the community when the church was packed, how you felt everyone after this corona, when the Nashidi and Kulim Baghdad the Tamo. And you went on and on.
Everyone cried.
And I can tell you, not one person wanted to leave. No matter how, I know you went over like probably 20 minutes, well, maybe hour and 20, hour and 30. But nobody wanted to leave. You could have gone on for 5 hours because the Tanayatha de Dreluch, Abuno. لو واحد تجانيات family دي ووات community دي وإيشا ولا مريم عذرا ومريم يوسف وكل دقم دارتها بغضا ذي تنياثا. I'm sure they out there someplace, but لا ثوالق كثاوة قاموخ ولا ثوالق فيديو قاموخ ولا ثوالق سماعة قاموخ, and you went on for 90 minutes almost. And not one person wanted to leave. I want to assure you that. I'm sure you were watching. Khana Shalaplatla. I don't know Makakariya, Mother of God, but Kinwawa in the hallway, then outside. Beautiful. But first time Umriana Zia Oram Athmandi Lawa Hertaziya. Kamili American, we celebrate. Kamriani Rabid we celebrate. Khazanani Chaldeans Dilahuya Acham long time ago. Camry we kind of celebrate. What are they talking about? Yesterday you made us celebrate. Akhni Sarai Qamayl. Especially Akhni Achadet Kidkhul Tajani very well. So is East Side. It was a celebration. Khira ببخايا عجايا وإنشي وقوري ورابي وزوري, but the way you put it together, now I know what Kasha have to do. I know what they go through to learn education-wise. It was a perfect scientific. It was a perfect electronic chip, the design, a voice of God that you passed into us. كمياوت تطالع نخني. Yes, I'm Hasila, thousands of funerals, but families die. My dad passed away in front of me. But, so I saw that, and I saw a lot of love friends and cousins. You took Johnny's life. Because Oko Yerkhed Tuame, Kim, my grandnieces, Akani Beeta Kabiro, خشون بلكين غلط لي كمرنا ده تبال خشون بنيليات 3 يا 14 قاشة مرو كل diocese Chaldean نيلا آخا. I know grandnephew Jimmy Father Bjorn uthwalish Kamra Duke Lekinik Zila Badela Blel Tazium Solele Regency Manor. But it was a beautiful, bravo to the church and to the Bishop Qalabat and Bishop Ibrahim. How this recruitment comes from, how many years you got to be in a seminary to come out of this?
6 to 8 years.
You know what? Voice-wise, emotion-wise, beautiful-wise, it paid off yesterday. It paid off. Not just him. All those beautiful priests were up there. I don't know. Maybe there were 16 shamasha. It was beautiful. I think Johnny wanted it like this. Kibewa lahadach.
It's a celebration for his life.
He died cancer, so due to a long Leila Corona. We love Johnny and we love our church, Timmel, that nobody wore a mask. And I wear a mask. We just say hell with it. And we're going to go all in. And I think it was like 3 people had it, the ones that are probably ill. And thank you.
And the church was packed. Well,
church packed wall to wall. There was no people standing against the wall. But it was that feeling of Abuna Patrick Sittu that put in there, that knows Johnny for a long time and knows his daughters and my niece Linda, Kasabahura. And I'll tell you, I haven't slept. I just talked to my nephew Bert Kassab. That's his brother-in-law. We were talking about it for a minute. It's amazing how, go to church. That's one thing I learned from you.
That's what I mainly do. I love to go to the church because that's where the blessings and the prayers is all descended to him.
Especially the Psalm Sharere, and Mitlib Yom Soma. Go to church and listen to this. I don't know how you get that speech. I think he
wrote it from his heart.
How did he come up with all these words? I didn't see him reading anything. Maybe when he first started to read the gospel or whatever, but man, he went off for
his homily when he was preaching.
He did that.
Yeah.
Then he went to the action of explaining what Johnny used to tell him. He's been seeing Johnny for on and off for about a year in and out of the hospital for this bone marrow cancer.
Wow.
And Johnny is 5 years younger than me, so he would have been 63.
Wow.
And Patrick knows him, Father Patrick Sittu. But Paul was, I just told you when we came in, I know I had you do some for me, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Yesterday you had to make a run because I couldn't do it. But I wish anybody, I wish my kids, he spoke, anything you want. He spoke in English, Chaldean, Arabic. He made sure that everybody there, and there was a lot of American there.
Touched.
And a lot of young kids, they don't speak Surat, A lot of our grandkids are, kids and young cousins. Like Mahka Surat, that's the other horrible part. But مع ودل أنا اليوم محكوي هالبثرة داي تعزيز شموتا خواثة وخثواثة يوم محكوي how kmahko. Okay, I know the church. I know her very well. Not that because I go to church. And I should, like you say. But the way it come rasim le mindi khwatha yumo baba krasmita 10-year-old or 12-year-old or 17-year-old girl when she want to know if she's going to get married and go to school or do this and that. Or a boy at 20, should he open a business with his dad or go to get education? That type of thing. Kam rasim la min dana, kam rasim la mid Allah. Through Johnny, using Johnny's name, or through us. كلنا نتعامل بقيتها. ما بخوش تعمل مشوام مقواي. بس خوش تعمل مشوام from 5-year-old to 95-year-old. Any kind. Leon Khazir community diya nada. We need those speeches. We need, especially da ila corona qassa. Benola. He did mention Ukraine war, and he brought that in, how people suffer. And but Patrick said I'm telling you, I've been knowing a lot of people, and all of them are beautiful in the church. But you know how you and I talked, and I think you joined the seminary.
18.
I thought you were like a kid. You wanted to be a kasha or something.
Yeah. I mean, way before that. When I wanted to,
come to the mic.
About 4 or 5 years old.
عقله خرادخ
Yeah, oh yeah.
هو يا أخو تايت.
Because كنت خازت من عمر غزورة كنت خازت شولة قاشة ما كاوذ برازة و all that kind of stuff. It's like مو يالا زورة كبات بيشي بشرطي لو كبات بيشي firefighter, you know.
خازا films way movies.
خازا وكبيرة من جماعة يلي خازا شولة قاشة وكبات بيشي قاشة, you know. كلوشي جلة قاشة وكوذي خواث درازة دي بيثو كشقلي بيتا بريد وقيصيلة, you know. I used to do that when I was a kid. كوذن ورازة كدون وزورة. بس it was more like acting, not the real mass.
Oh. There was a young kid there, Mishamai.
Shamashawewa?
No, he was like, he read the main thing. He's like 15 years old. Kakos. Oh my God. Everybody was pinching me. I told Junior, what did you?
He's a junior.
He's super junior. Train him. I saw Junior's father, Timman Isam. Camera Junior Kmolupal Kudwazor. I didn't realize he was the one that talked on here radio a couple of times. I think he was like 12 years old or so. I don't know. He was 18 now, right?
He's
I heard he's 18 or
I
something.
think he's 15, 16, but something like
that.
No.
Yeah, his mom is a doctor at Kakos Dental. 15 in the Drake area.
Oh.
I see the sign, they say. He's Jalal Jamil's grandson. The Ma'alim Dwewa, Persian High School, Jalal Khoranina. He read most of the thing, and people kept telling me, like, Marmitanthel Jr. back. I said, where is it? I was so far
they're
back.
Probably from far, looking from far away.
Well, I was so far back because when I came in, I couldn't get my seat, so I gave it up, and I just sat back there. And he started this thing, but Shamasha, beautiful. Oh, my God, how do you film this thing? I'm thinking about using those cameras we have for these things if we ask the families, you know. Just how do you, I want to talk to Patrick Sittu. Was that a written speech but that voice? He put God, Somo, Sarayo,
all in one.
Johnny, Ukraine, Marath, cancer, death, all in one. He almost made you feel like you should just, it's okay to die and let's just go. Like when you die. Instead of, emotion you kullan. But he did that, also killing us by crying. We knew what he was talking about. Because I think he was counting kud nasha eta, kud nasha, webebnaya. No, he can hit us where he wanted to, right in the heart, and he should.
All the ways of suffering.
And celebrating.
Yes.
Remember? Suffering and celebrating. So, Paul, what is the schooling? I meant to ask Junior today, and I didn't. It's people with me. What is that? What do you go to school and get a bachelor and get a master? I thought you go into be a shamasha.
It's more than just studying. It's more prayer. So لازم صالة كبيرة ولازم قارة كبيرة. نفس الوقت إزناج ليلة بس. Okay, كورتك درستك شغلت امتحان ونجحت and you go on from the next. It's more about meditation and reflection and basically.
Many of them madrasa professors or something.
Professors within قاشة.
Because when a parent grandson of Khalti Victoria, Mahassid Khalti Khathid Yimmi, it's the only sister she had.
Wow.
He's like a giant coming up. He's moving in August to Mother of God. And they're so smart. I didn't know. I thought, okay, Iraq, Yama College, the seminary somewhere in Iraq.
Derawatha.
Derawatha, that's what it meant.
Yes.
So Dera seminary.
they're a seminary, monastery kind of way.
Like that. That's what they learn.
Yeah.
So monasteries ما قرأت Zerawatha.
Derawatha. Yeah.
I remember my dad taking me there as a 10-year-old. خازن و كاوهرم صلوية بقرنيثة
أني ربان
لا لا
bugs.
computer لا iPhone لا
They're very
professor.
isolated.
So that was part of the teaching to go to
If you wanted to be that kind of lifestyle, or if you wanted to be more out there and preach. So أني derawatha ila rabbana, monks that all they do خواتد معسيرات, they just بس
they never get to be qasha.
they can be a kasha if you want to be a rabban.
Or you can stay a rabban.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can do one or the other,
That
or
shows
do
you.
both.
I'm going to have to fire a junior from asking him for opinion. I'm going to hire you.
But Kabira Mandani Derawatho is more of an orphanage. So kids, and
They live in there?
they live there, they take care of them and all of that.
Well, I want to say, Abuno, you sure motivate the heck out of me. I am motivated, and I'm very positive, but you painted something. I think after Corona, I petitioned to Allah and Ya'al Bzala Qasab Qasalla Kazalane or Mir Abbas Pesha. You put something in you and remember life, what life is about. Then he took it entire Ukraine to it as today. First he took Iraq and Middle East, like he said, Middle East, Lemmer had Iraq. Because it's a Nashib Syria, with a Nashib Jordan, with a Nashib Lebanon, with a Nashib Turkey, with a
Combine them all
Nashib.
together.
Then he hit us hard right here by, did you hear what I say? Hour and 30, hour and 40.
It's rare.
I've never been to a funeral less more than an hour.
Same.
By time hour, you're in the front door. You're out the door.
My grandma's funeral in Hossetha, her speech alone was a half hour. And that was last year.
She was talking?
No, the speech of Min Qasha. Qasha
Why
Makroza.
was she part of the church?
Yeah, oh yeah, every single day.
Which grandma is that?
Amira.
She was? I thought she was tough, bro.
Oh, she was tough.
But
Tough
she was a
and in
good
the
church
church.
going.
And she was like Ani Akhawiya.
So I can مال surat. دخيل بياني بيبي أنا دي عندي لمرقوبة يمثي grandmother دي ده. دخيل بي surat خوذ دي لبلوخاي to
The best
junior.
way daha بزعل الإيتو بيلبي من تاما because تاما إتا
وما بدي
classes
video games دي وإنترنت
قالك فيدي
iPhone.
قالك فيدي. I'm sorry to say it. يعني إلى خكمة إلى بيواذا خواتد apps وفيديوز وملبي سورث وكثوانة لك فيدي بس أنا يلبلي من إيتو أنا يلبلي قراية وكثاوة بس you know I got better by speaking to people خواتي وخواثو كديوخ محكوي دا وكشمن ناشخن محكوي وكوذي وحركات بإيذي فكد لكذن وتنيثا مندي خازن ودخ كوذي وحركة you know gestures. But the best way of Zalal Eto BLP Mentama because our diocese or our churches are doing classes now, the DLP reading, writing, and speaking from professionals.
Mani يعني.
The churches. So if you want to learn, like for example, Shamasha Khairi is doing classes in West Bloomfield, St. Thomas, Cheshwan, and you can learn how to read, speak, and I know a couple colleges they have Aramaic class for college credit.
In Michigan?
In Michigan, I know. I think Macomb College had and UFD Mercy used to have, but it's available anywhere. So if Emma منوخن دتوخن يالد كبعد يلبي سورث مخبروا لي رقم دي 586-422-0770 كثونا أخب chat and اتوخن يالد كبعد يلبي سورث وكبعد يلبي دخ قراية كثوي ولشانة هامة.
What's the number you just gave out?
586.
You live in Eastside?
Yeah. 586.
Don't even go there.
422-0770.
Okay, what do you want to do? Help them?
I want to help them, direct them to the best.
To do what? محكمة.
And كباد يلبي دخ قارة وكثوي ومحكى سورث. it has nothing to do. And كبا شكلي أن دروس
لا
بيشي
قارخ لا
شماشة.
boaters, so there's not a shame.
No, I'm not a boater.
Well, I'm saying, you know how people are. Oh,
Exactly.
you're like a boater.
I need the company هذا خلا jealous.
Well, it's not about jealousy. How do you teach God and still keep your life? How do you learn God? That's what Patrick, and still keep who you are.
Our language is
Without
so,
looking at you, say, why are you religious? You're weird. You're this. إحنا معكم ديلان كمرخلة all the time, right?
yes.
You're very God-gifted
Yes.
children till the dollar signs came up. And that's very true in community. And لا كمرخلة بإنجليزي للشامي أمريكان. خازق دولارات. And we start waiting, talking to people based on your look, your dressing, your car, your party. But that have nothing to do with the children in Malpatiala.
No.
Yeah, yale diale, right?
Yeah.
You had your great family, and you were coming up. I think it's Patrick Kakos, the great, the kid, or Justin Chamori,
Yes.
down. He's up
Both
in that
both
age.
grandfathers are very, very.
Very active in
Yes.
church. And لا هراني تن كبيرة بسان دييغو تن ناش خندم إيسايت تن ملقوشم
أنا لبلي من تساوي محسية because we بقيتها كبيرة.
عاد مكمل بيلبلخ سالم جدو he taught you anything seriously nothing.
I mean كنت بشلي
I thought you know him or something.
كنت بشلي رابو إيجا معرف لي كبيرة الشماشم because باب ديمي وهو شماشم قاعد mother of God and شماشة
What
سالم
was
yeah
his name?
Yusuf Qanaya.
Oh.
So he was involved. I mean, he knew Shamasha Salim and all the rest of the Shamashas. So when I was young, كنوبل والي بقيته وتراز رابو I كلدان وكشمن وخد منو I altar boy ومن تامو بطر ما مثله أنا يعني.
How do you remember all
I
that?
took it to the next level. I have a great memory. Great memory.
Christine, I'm not going to answer this one.
ما زي بقرأ.
No, because if I answer something to you, she texts me and said, don't do that with Paul. Okay, so I'm not
Why?
going to.
She has my back يعني.
She got your back.
Oh, great.
No, she got your back, your side, everything, your head. So she pays attention.
I wonder who loves me more, Suham or Christine.
What?
Which one of your sisters has my back the most?
خلت الشمامة.
Oh, خالته شمامة.
كاميرا بس محكي خواديت محكي هلا زالو بكاكا all the time. كاميرا هركا
You're funny,
بكاكا.
man. ما أذن. You're funny.
I know I'm funny. أنا لبلي محدير التوني ما محكي ما محكي مارفن جربو. ما محكي لي أنا دايم بيلابط من دي بسرعة. I didn't talk too much Surah till like 10 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, I was raised in my own little world. I didn't have regular Surah at all.
بسك ما حكيتوا السورة.
بس من يمي.
That's it.
إما من بابك ما حكينا إنجليزي. لا, because I loved it. In Nasha May, I was literally maybe teaching most of them English. Cathawa Lebrico, I ran into them, and we were me and my brothers, we left the store business 50 years ago. So
But you were in the schools all over here in America. So
I was all over the schools. What schools? I never went to school here. Did you know that?
no.
I'm not ashamed of it. I never did. I got a broken nose, broken knuckles, broken jaw, because they called me Camel Jackie, and I wasn't about to take that bull from anybody. That's all they killed us in the 60s and 70s. We were talking about it yesterday. Give it a your nature. I know Najib Ayyar, Amir, Johnny.
I know.
Camry used to kick their butt. We were on 6 and 7 Mile, man. They ain't never met any Middle Eastern, any Chaldean, anything. They call us. No, هلا لا ثو مش المعنى ثو فلسطيناني قاعد ثو عرفات Palestinian عرفات ولا رخش we had our racist or prejudice. Your January 6 people, whatever you call them, we met them in 60s, not in 2020. Okay, did you get it? Khwar, horrible. La Wawa Chinese. What do you think they were? Mekathwa Koma. It was in Coma and 6 in Woodward, within 20 miles.
Wow.
What Coma?
You're
When
right.
you see us moving, that's when La Comcatha, more crime happened. So I started in school, and I got kicked out of school
I know كم قروالي could win Zora terrorist who I could brella I 9/11 because من دقة win Madison Heights
My grandson بعمره خيلة قاعد معكو يمي هيت ما كم قاعد مغزلق
أنا شو
أنا
مدي
يعني شب عمره يعني أخواته حدير يلد
أني
ومارفن مغزلق
أني كمري وطالي أنا ونو first grade second grade هذا could win Madison Heights ومن دقة ومن قميثة لثوة جماعة at
خذ
all
أخوي شراثة Paul 7 mile or 6 mile without know we were doing شراثة. We could have died. Some of them did get hurt. I'm talking about with baseball bats, with
in the school
outside in the
Outside
school, in the parking lot, in
recess
the
so
school. Teacher sent me home 20 times, so I just quit. Why would I want to do that? I was making $800 a week when I was 18 years old because I learned at home. I learned everything. I would push, don't ever leave school. I tell my kids, ever. Education is beautiful to a point.
my dad was
To a
the same
point.
way.
To a point. You know, don't leave school. Do not drop out of school
My
to make
dad
money.
left school when he was young. High school.
I did it because of prejudice.
High school.
That's why I'm so anti
نفس من-
everything.
بابي
I don't care if
ونفس
it's
من-
Biden, Trump, this you're going to change to be a Republican? I don't know which Chaldean was a Republican. I never met one. They don't even know what it is. What kind of parties we had in Iraq? We had a Democrat and Republican in Iraq? Or we had a mini Putin?
ماني we اما من جماعة واوا Republican وقت Bush. That's the question.
No. When did we ever had a Republican? Any Republican, where? Or any Democrat, when? Only people brought us to America were Democrats in power. Only people that gave us what we want on the east side
Carl
the last
Levin
20. No,
Khamenei.
forget that. Quit answering me before I finish. They were Democrat. Any and local Republican. Great people like Milliken, the governor, people like that because they needed us. But mainly it came from the Democrat because in any Spanish, Paul, in any Mexican, in any Yugoslavian, any Houthi, any Russian, with almost 2 million Russians, everybody forgot about that when Russia broke up. Now it's backfiring on us. Okay? واحنا wearing بينتي. وبعدين مثلا شو مليون مسلمان. قاعدين شغل انت complain sometime. But education is so important. But اخني هذه هي بدمن كل اخوه الباشن business people. كمرنا تناشة تم الاخوه محكوية انه Regency Manor that تلقلن in the desert of Arizona. Forget it's Phoenix or Flagstaff. And give us 2 or 3 years or 5 years, I say. I bet it'll be lakes, it'll be water, it'll be grass, it'll be businesses. Okay? شكلك risk, شكلك chance. And we have the toughest business in the history of America, the liquor business. 150 of us got killed. We'll put that later. It was horrible.
Not including all the problems and mashakal and complaints.
I got robbed 3 times when we were in store business. I said, hell, I'm leaving. I'm not coming back. I never went back. I did the same thing.
It's bulletproof قميصة هما.
No. It's first bulletproof we put up, and I think it was 77 or something, when my brother got shot in 75, Prince in Highland Park.
Was
that
that
a holdup?
Was that the first time like stores started using bulletproof?
We got scared. My brother-in-law got killed in 1970, Salim Dukhu.
Wow.
And they start killing. We'll put that later today. It's the time for it to show that we can't forget. We have a very how you get to run a business and you get killed. It's not a war.
Over something
Over
small.
$20.
Yeah, I was gonna say $200.
Over a case of beer you stole. It comes
Chips
out.
or
Well, you come out to tell them, a month ago, 8 Mile in Greenfield, right?
yes.
He went out, and his guy were bitching about something. He shot him without taking the money. Then he decided, well, I might as well get behind the glass and grab the cash register drawer. Had $150 in it.
And he robbed the spot across the street too.
And killed him. Well, he always robbed it. See, Detroit, ya shurta, ya akha, no matter ekala makasura, come degli. That can really look like crime. What did he rob? Are you surprised he robbed? Since we started this show 30 minutes ago, 300 places got robbed. That's part of life.
Once a thief, always a thief.
What's the largest corporation in America?
The largest?
Yes. I love your answers. I'm going to stop. I want to hear you. What is the largest income producing corporation in America?
GM.
GM.
Yeah.
You're full of shit. Excuse me to talk like that.
Man.
Criminal justice system.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
That makes sense, Paul?
Yeah.
Criminal justice system. It's a business. Trillions goes through there. GMs do billions, and they do billions. Trillions. And they don't sell one thing, right? GM, coming to GM, mate. GM, by the way, is way down now, but Toyota passed them and all that. But GM makes a car, build a person, hire them. They build a plant.
Yeah.
They go on and on and on, and about a year later, 6 months later, they sell you this car, right? Or whatever they're selling you, right? One time they went to Hughes and aircraft and went to the moon and lost all their billions, and they got out of that business. Hughes. What does the criminal justice system sells you? You
Nothing.
commit a crime.
If anything, they're taken from you.
No, you call it crime.
Yeah.
Police is there 8 hours in a court testifying against you after they get arrested. Kay will defend it. Balash or haknike och texat pare.
Court-appointed attorney.
Court-appointed attorney. It took a prosecutor. Arba khamsho. It took judge for life. He'll tama every 6 years he runs.
You have those people that.
And you're done. And it took then you sentence you. Now you go. Hakuma pays your rent, like some of the guys I know now, even Chaldean. He say 3 meals a day. I spent 18 months. I got paid for working in the laundry area. I pay into the commissary, and I'm there. How many people you think are in jail in America? More than they are in China. And China's a big country, or India. It's a business, so that is the largest corporation in the United States, the largest gun producers of the United States. Kay, what did Mir say in the Patrick Sittu? All falls on our lap. Kullakna blageban ethmendi. Echni kaldian. That's what it comes down to. Thela nachadodoch serve. What alad hasela alad laut. What Coney Island guy somebody walks in and what a guy from Macy's, the president and CEO, got shot, or the guy from the car dealer, or the Chaldeans store owners here and in California and in Arizona and in Chicago.
It's not just here.
No, it's not just here. I come in America. So when you build the system, Nashadian goes back to Yalizura Chawatha Chatwatha, young kids like you or Michael, is to learn the system, but keep your faith and keep who you are. Chamadik Mako Batsurat, that I feel good every day, a year younger. You like how I'm looking these lately?
Nice, I like that.
You like that? I'm trying to match you. And I'm 3 times your
On
age.
a
I'm 3 times your age. I see you got the haircut.
I just got a haircut today.
You didn't took your showers yet, right?
I did.
Paul takes 3. Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Nenua. Yes, he does. Nenua asked me today, how many showers you take a day? I say minimum 3, right?
2 or 3.
2 or 3. Yeah, well, that's why you're different than anybody else. I know some people that they don't take a shower once a month. I ain't gonna mention no name. So I mean, it is what it is. So
I'll make sure to show you my water bill. Comes out this month.
What is that?
مخزنك water bill دي بس تخناشط بس أنا. At my house, how much is my water bill?
Well, I buy my water. I don't have a bill.
No, I'm saying the water bill. When the city sends you the bill.
I don't have it. I use bottled water to shower.
Eh?
Yeah. Right, Michael? Because Michael takes 3 showers a day.
Oh my gosh.
So back. After this, thank you.
say sorry. Yeah, I know I let you down. Is it too late to say sorry now?
أي لا شطرها انت بقتلك ما خامتها توسو خشكد ليلة قجوان قيش الدنتا أي لا شطرها انت بقتلك ما خامتها توسو خشكد ليلة قجوان قيش
Baby, I don't need dollar bills to have fun tonight. I love cheap thrills. Baby, I don't need dollar bills to have fun tonight. I love cheap thrills. I don't need no money as long as I keep dancing.
وربزلن قمديناتي ومنشيلن لنضاناتي دويقلن خسيتي خاتي وقدالي وقلضاياتي وربزلن قمديناتي ومنشيلن لنضاناتي دويقلن خسيتي خاتي وقدالي وقلضاياتي
So hello from the other side. I must have called a thousand times to tell you I'm sorry for breaking your heart, but it don't matter. It really doesn't play you apart
تنوخ يا
anymore.
عاشورايا قبل بخري زكايا ليلة خطيتها ولقنايا عتتقاتي شورايا لبي بخبوغ بالهايا يقنكا على هايا أخشى ما تخبرهمنا أخسحدد ومتاخايا
All that she wants is another baby. She's gone tomorrow, but all that she wants is another baby. Yeah. All that she wants is another baby. She's gone tomorrow, but all that she wants is another baby. Yeah.
باقية ولو باقية لو 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 هوي باقية وباقية ولو باقية روشة لاواتية باقية ولو باقية لو 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 هوي باقية وباقية ولو باقية روشة لاواتية
Gearing up like we own it. Unconfined, not controlling. Gypsy like, yes, we're moving. Shoulders ready, everybody shoot slow. Gearing up like we own it. Unconfined, not controlling. Gypsy like, yes, we're moving. Shoulders ready, everybody shoot slow.
باقية ولو باقية لو 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 هوي باقية وباقية ولو باقية روشة
Everybody shoot slow.
باقية ولو باقية لو 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 هوي باقية وباقية ولو باقية روشة
Everybody shoot slow.
There's a sense of anticipation, electricity in the air. You think tonight is your night, and you're in luck, because here, a great time is a sure thing. This place is certified hot. This is Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Go on a hot streak unlike any other, with hundreds of the hottest slots, certified by their manufacturers to be set to the best paybacks guaranteed. Plus the hottest table games and sizzling live entertainment and nightlife. So why play at just any casino when you can play at the only casino and resort that's certified hot? This is your night, and it's time to experience more at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
Welcome back, أخواته وأخواتو. Oh, you have تعزياته.
Yes, I do.
Oh. So أخواته وأخواتو لم حسيلا تنخمن دي سبيشل كودخل بس شو ده بشوريلا بول مني قريلا تعزياته ديا بس احترام تكميونيتي ديا دياوخل بيوتيوب أختو دي واتوب كاليفورنيا بأريزونا لاس فيغاس ديكم خبرتو لي نيفادا بشيكاغو تناشا ديا every سول يوتيوب John Zia, Zia Oram show. Udro subscribe قرا على ice مقتتام دشوا لدقمو. Then you get a lot of our stuff. يعني من دان بداثا جيبوخو. يا فيسبوك اللي رندو بس يوتيوب كي باخد بانوخ وتم الحسجاني تعزيم. تري مناشي كاميلي when you coming back to a show? We've been back on the show
I want almost. I
8 months.
yeah.
But okay, we do good. But it's okay. But we need you guys more to watch, to pay attention, so we can start producing new products, new information. Talohu, one of the biggest one, like Paul's thing. Magdaruch Talohu, Makmachkuch common sense. And hopefully next week, Zimsharam with Mathoy, my first guest. I don't know what happened with Corona. Ukrainian war start and Corona goes away. I mean, what happened? I'm serious. We were in Florida, you and I, 3 weeks ago, scared to death.
Yeah.
And I caught a Corona there.
Supposedly محكيت الناجة لبش Ethan Corona because لبش
No, Ethan Corona, but the way the news media or the government or
it's not gonna get a big headline and more ratings to them. Yeah.
So the talk, I know we love Ukraine. We do support Ukraine.
Yes, we do.
And we pray for people in Ukraine because Iraqin, we should know how it feels to be bombarded, especially by whatever. But we're try to do it some kind of charity to help all people. But the sad part of it, I don't know anything about Ukraine. They just say they never fought a war, but when you look at their history, they've been doing Russia and wrecking part of Russia one time, right?
Soviet Union.
Soviet. That wasn't called Russia?
No.
Oh. Soviet Union?
Yes.
That's like Shiurin and all that? Was your dad like your grandpa Shiuri or something? How do you know that?
What do you mean?
Why are you laughing? I'm asking you a question.
I don't know.
How do you know so much what's called Soviet Union?
Even
I only learned that from Habub. Literally.
they taught me that in school, Soviet Union.
Seriously?
Yeah. From Gorbachev and
Well, Gorbachev just came in '84, bro. Soviet Union been around for 1,000 years.
the only way ساوي كمولبلي ميلا روسيا Soviet because كلوشيوا أني شفقات those Russian winter hats.
Oh, your grandpa did too?
Yeah.
So
And I wear it too. Anetti.
were you like Russian oligarch? What do you call those people? Those crook ones? Yeah.
Not that one.
You had money?
Lilati
Not
Bar.
crook, but I thought they wear those hats.
No, just everyone wore it.
Because it's cold as hell, right?
It's the hats and then it clips on from the top and then it comes down.
You have one of those?
Yeah.
I like that. Next winter, if you're still here, and I hope you are, I'm going to make sure. Don't method to me one. Don't bring me one. I want nothing from Russia.
Well, keep it. Yeah.
I want nothing made
No,
in Russia.
it's made in China.
He's so
It's
stupid.
made in China.
I want nothing
But
had to tie to Russia.
that-
Not now, not before. I've been fighting behind the scene. Even my connection I had, yes, politically.
I'll bring you the hat for Monday show
I can
because
stand those people.
Sapra is going to be 60 degrees. Sunday is going to be 60 degrees. And then Monday is Msharia Telga.
Really? I thought it's over.
No, Monday.
I thought two things were over, the snow and the corona.
No. Snow's coming back on Monday. 80%
Two little
chance.
grandkids, the youngest one, 3-year-old and a year and a half, were over today. Go, Kaka, we want to go outside. Look, when I look outside, camera, Kaka, you have no hair, you bald. It was too cold, Carmen. Camera is not cold in here. Why you had to call me that? How did I get hair like you, Paul?
Because then Turkey.
Turkey?
Yeah.
That's another country I can't stand.
We'll go to Turkey with Mish Nabiyona. We'll go there.
They're not going.
Oh, they're not?
They postponed it,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Because of the problem. They postponed it before. But Jacob is in Egypt.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
He didn't tell me.
But he's the only one. What did he do? Him in a camel he rode? Jacob, come on, bro. I know you're on the flight, so you can't answer me back.
You should have told me. I would have went with him. I always wanted to go to Egypt. See the I always wanted to go to Egypt, see the pyramids and everything. So I gotta tell Jacob because it's once in a lifetime experience. Zawali Umme to Egypt because who else am I gonna go to Egypt with?
Me.
We can go.
We have all these video. You know, I was looking at my credit card today. My video cameras were like 3,400, Michael Oram. What do you say?
He told you not to buy them.
No, I'm going to use them.
I think
We're
you
gonna
can. I
go-
think you can get your money back if you sell them.
What?
Michael, you think he can get his money back if he sells them? Probably not. No.
What do you? Okay, yeah, Michael. So, أخوات وخطواتها, we'll be right back. وأخونا Paul Mendy, بقارة تعزياتها.
Yes,
Now
we
we
will.
have Junior Jouat. Thank you, Junior.
وما دام قيمة لا قويريم حس عطاين وساقل واثان مشي حأمود دمهو يمنم براح مقبل أصلا واثان كدم نحمة العاني ذيم حاسي حطان ونقصان واثان كيد تمارن بكيانان دي القويلة بما ياد حشم وكل شاوت يا ثاب قاويم هم عولي امي طشيام قناثد ناشكينم شارد تميق شيثام هذا الخبل تام طيلام قول وما ينشم عني ذد قراب شموخ يشعمل كنزاك كايام فغرير شيم بقو صليوخ لشامي قالا دوايام أندخل
شلام اللوخن أخوات وخثوات عزيزة أنا بول مني بقاود إذاعة جان زي أورام شكل خلوخن كبيرة دوتون بشما إذاعة ديا بس التن قصة تعزيات زي قارن طلوخن ألام حاسيلة وبياوا هاوا ملكوث الدشمية محسيثة سميرة عسكر كتشي منصور اديوم خشكة وقرتدية بس تعزيتها إلى الدها بقاود قاعة مطعم صحارى بستيرلينغ هايتس والإشواء بعاصرته محسيثة سميرة عسكر كتشي منصور اديوم خشكة وقرتدية بس تعزيتها إلى الدها بقاود قاعة مطعم صحارى بستيرلينغ هايتس والإشواء بعاصرته همم شونيلة رحمد مريا محسيثة وارينا مت سليمان أبونا بدهاو قرتدية صبرة يوم تشبثة بشيث بقاود إسر مخشكة بإيتد ماريوسب مذيت دتروي حسيثة وارينا مت سليمان أبونا بدهاو قرتدية صبرة يوم تشبثة بشيث بقاود إسر مخشكة بإيتد ماريوسب مذيت دتروي همم شونيل رحمد مريا محسيا ناظر نوح سعيد بدها قورتدية صبرة يوم تشبثة بشيث بقاود خديسة رمخشكة بقيتة سهلة مذيتة ستيرلينغ هايتس وبطر الدخ بدها التعزيتي بقاود قاعد نادي مشرق ماونت بالاس والإشواء بعصرته محسيا ناظر نوح سعيد بدها قورتدية صبرة يوم تشبثة بشيث بقاود خديسة رمخشكة بقيتة سهلة مذيتة ستيرلينغ هايتس وبطر دغ بدها التعزيتي بقاود قاعد نادي مشرق ماونت بالاس بستيرلينغ هايتس والإشواء بعصرته همم شونيلي رحمد مريا محسيثة يازي قورقيس بدها قورتدية صبرة يوم تشبثة بشيث بقاود غذاء وبلقة بقيتة سهلة بستيرلينغ هايتس محسيثة يازي قورقيس بدها قورتدية صبرة يوم تشبثة شيث بقاود غذاء وبلقة بقيتة سهلة مذيتة ستيرلينغ هايتس همم شونيلي رحمد مريا محسيثة نزهد بطي الياس جميل بدها قورتدية صبرة يوم تشبثة بشيث بقاود تريسر بلقد يوما بقيتة يمدلها بساوثفيلد محسيثة نزهد بطي الياس جميل بدها قورتدية صبرة يوم تشبثة بشيث بقاود تريسر بلقد يوما بقيتة يمدلها بساوثفيلد ألام حيسيلا كلي وهاوا ملكوث دشمية
تخمل دموثوخ إيثايل من ترين ثلاثة يوماثا بأي محال بيشت متخمل دموثوخ بساقلد كريوثا ين عذابة أبدينايا ين تخمل بوسامة أبدينايا بصخوثة مدمارا والأبد كبن بدم يا برناشة دمتخمنت كبن أذن دها مندي ليبي لأواذب عدان دموثي يعني الدقرن الجيبد أهلها وأذن تياووثا دمتقصن نيتي ووصيدي خريثة كبند أذن دها مندي دبأند أذن بأوعدان دموثا يعني كبرد محضر نجياني تأوزونا قشيا دمقدش نجياني وأذنا خزناثا محميان بشمية كبرد أذن دها مندي دك لزمة لعواذب عدان دموثا اتبرشن بلبة مكل مندي مبيد شواقة ايون آذي علمة وحاضر ايون تتخازن ألها بدم شد أمرخ بغداد عواذد بشمنتك ملتا يا ألهي بديوت خير شبيخة كامل ابقو كل كاملوثا بيد آنا كبنوخ بشكابر مكل مندي آنا مبوشمنون وكحيمن وكمحيفن من كل لبي بيد آنا حطيلي قاموخ دها وذلي ني تثبتا بقو قوت دعون ديوخ آلاهايا دها وباثر لبش حاطن إلا بذم راحقن من كل سبابه أنا دقرشيلي وكمقرويلي لبلاخة وعواذد خطيثة كمرجن مرحمديوخ يا ماري ويا ألهي بمطلبات دي مريم يمن قدشت بثلته وكل مالاخ وقديش آمين بريخم شيحة باروقا
Welcome back. Thank you, Hono, Junior Jawad. Thank you, Paul, Yusuf, Mendy, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's why so correct. Your dad's name is Faris.
But no, but the legal way كممرة عدل.
Oh, Michael Georges Oram.
Yes.
I'm
And
on
John Zia Oram.
So why was I telling you? Why did you call it when I did it.
I copied you.
But Michael looked just like my grandpa.
So-
My grandpa raised me
so
till I was
Georges
12 or
is-
13 years old.
Is your dad Zaya's dad? Babit
My
Zaya.
mom,
Oh, your mom.
your favorite fan.
خالته
No,
ماما.
my dad, Mansour, I'm sorry.
Okay, so Mansour and Georges.
Keki Georges took care of me till I was about 11 and 12, literally.
Because I was gonna, I don't know where Mansour came from. I thought it was one or the other.
My name is John Zia Mansour Oram.
Nice.
Half of my first cousin in California used Mansour. They came in later here. And half of us always used Oram. My dad, even my uncles used Mansour and Oram. So my Sawa,
دخلت وعليه؟
no. He died when we left and I was very young. And he was محل بأورو, أخني محل بدخو. And I would see it, he died right about the time we
How
were
far
living.
was Dukhun, محل
About
الدخون?
40 miles.
It's not bad.
Right. Did you hear that, Joe Oram? It was like 6 blocks, Paul. How big do you think it was to Kepa, bro? Jeez.
With all the people, all the Tilkapay
Seriously,
we
you
have.
didn't know these Mhalatha? There's 12 of Mhalatha.
I know, but I don't know how big each one is. How many square mile or?
Square mile, square feet. It was a beautiful feeling. It was bond, man. It was family. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. So thank you, Akhawatha Khathwatha. We're going to put Chaldean in America again, Idyu, Talohu, to see it. And we hope Chazak Locho Monday. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Michael.
It's a beautiful video.
Thank you. God bless you, Johnny Bahura. Alam Has Samira, my friend from Friendale, Oscar. Alam Haselach. She was a wonderful mother you guys had and grandmother. And I know that, and sisters and aunt. And worked with Samira from 82 till about 95, on and off in Friendale, politics and business. And her daughters work for us at Jam Sound.
That's impressive.
Small world.
That's impressive.
She taught me some politics. I told you. You think I know it all? I don't. I learn from others. That's what I try to tell you. And don't learn from a crook politician.
أنا كلب منه.
No, ما البنو قصة الله خازنه. بس كنت يذوتو أختو خشوتو إنه Paul Mendy all day. Chazanda Paul Mendy Karacha 5 minutes before the show and leaves literally minute and a half after the show, Christine. So don't tell me try to teach.
We don't go to Nadi. We don't go.
No, even I had somebody ask me that yesterday. Say, where do you guys go to eat after the show? I said, I don't think we ever went to eat.
Florida was the only time we hung out that much.
It cost me a lot of money. It cost me a lot of headache and money there, but I enjoyed it. So do you want to put our American friends all over the world? Chaldeans in America and where we come from. Thank you so much, and God bless you. I love you, Mommy. Good night.
It is a sacred ceremony, a union between a man and a woman, a celebration of love shared by family and friends. In many ways, the marriage of Ann Nona and Hadir Michael gives insight and understanding into the rich culture of the Chaldean community. Both families trace their ancestry to Iraq, the cradle of civilization, a proud heritage shared by more than 100,000 people in southeast Michigan.
Forefathers are buried over there. Our civilization is buried over there. Our culture is still over there. It grew over there and spread all over the world.
A strong Catholic faith bonds the community. This wedding was celebrated at Our Lady of Chaldeans Cathedral in Southfield. The liturgy spoken in the ancient language of Christ, Aramaic.
The Chaldean Church is the strongest institution in the community. The reason is because the people give value.
Deep-seated values that unite family and friends.
It is an agreement between both families, not only two families, but an extended family over relatives, friends, uncles, aunts, and everyone. Everyone feels that he is or she is part of this wedding.
We have continuity in our community. We have continuity because we have a very strong family values. We have very strong family relationships. We have very strong community relationships.
The bride's parents, like many Chaldeans in Detroit, were married in Iraq. Her father, Louay, came to this country in search of economic opportunity and religious freedom, an experience shared by thousands of Iraqi immigrants since the turn of the 20th century.
We want our pioneers to be proud of what they did and where they brought us, where they were and where we are now. And we want future generations, our American neighbors and friends, to know who the Chaldeans are.
War and suffering is the image of Iraq that most people know. Unfortunately, the harsh reality of recent history overshadows a dynamic and glorious past. Chaldeans trace their roots back 5,000 years to Mesopotamia, the land between two rivers, the home of the wonders of Babylon. The contributions of this ancient civilization are timeless: the invention of the wheel, the origins of astronomy and mathematics, the first use of writing.
These are really pioneers. The history of the Chaldeans is that of pioneering.
The library of Yusuf Nather is testament to the importance of preserving history and culture. He's been writing about the Chaldean legacy since migrating to this country in 1961.
I have a saying over there on the wall which says, the person who does not preserve his heritage should not exist, because your heritage is your life, is your original being, and it represents not only yourself, it represents the people you came from, the land you came from.
The vast majority of Chaldeans trace their family tree to small agricultural villages in northern Iraq. The largest village in the region is Tel Kiev, meaning hill of stones. The story of David Kessa is typical. A farmer who couldn't read or write, he migrated to Detroit in 1929 in search of the American dream. His wife and children waited back home while he made the 67-day journey on a merchant ship to the land of opportunity.
When you finally got here, what did you do? And he said, when you get up there, the man comes and says, makes motions. What do you speak? What language? He said, I spread my hands out and told him, nothing. So he brought a book of various languages, and he said, open it to what you understand. He said, I leafed through it and I saw the Aramaic language, writing. So he said, I showed him the page and he said, I went like this, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And he thought I knew what I was reading, so he says, go.
These are courageous people. Now, imagine the first Chaldean who came to the United States for a remote town in northern Iraq. He doesn't speak even Arabic, only Chaldean. He doesn't have any money in his pocket. This man has nothing but his willpower.
Like many Chaldeans before and since, David Kessa struggled to find work, but eventually opened up a small grocery store in Detroit with his younger brother.
I used to tell him, I said, Dad, how could you run a business? You couldn't read or write. See, I couldn't understand that. He said, honey, it wasn't like they are, today. You had 20 different kinds of coffees. We had, like 4 kinds of coffees. Maxwell House had a blue can, Hills Brothers had a red can, Beechnut had a red can, and Chase and Sanborn had a brown bag. So when a customer came in, you waited on them. There wasn't self-service. She'd want a can of coffee and she'd point to it, I'd get it for her.
Mary Kessa was born in Tel Kiev and came to Detroit in 1936 with her mother, Habuba, and sister, Warina. Many young Chaldean Americans mirrored Mary's experience. School by day, working at the family business at night. Marriages also were arranged between families. Dissatisfied with the potential prospects in Detroit, David Kessa sent his daughters to Iraq for a double wedding.
My sister and I flew to Baghdad in 1951, and after correspondence, of course, exchanged letters, pictures, and when I saw John's picture, I said, that's it, this guy's for me. He really was handsome, as was David, his brother. We went over there and married them. I've never seen anything like it in my life. It was a celebration for the whole village. We had 7 priests who married us. Believe me, there was never, we were married for 48 years, and I have never, ever enjoyed a human being as much as I did my husband, all 48 years of it. When he passed away, it broke my heart.
Hope, faith, work, family. The times and traditions have evolved, but the essential values of faith and perseverance connect more than a century of history of Chaldeans in Detroit.
The United States is really a plate of cultures. It's made of cultures. That's what's making it great. Although we're new here, we're only about 100 years or so here, but we made it.
The wall of old pictures tells a story, a family story, a success story, an immigrant story.
Everybody looks back, to their history as to what happened when they were younger and how they progressed to where they're at today. And I can tell you that I'm very proud of what our family accomplished, throughout the years.
Mike George is living the American dream. He built Melody Farms into one of the largest independent dairy companies in the Midwest. 5 of his 6 sons are building the family business for the future, a business that wouldn't have been possible without the determination of a young immigrant hoping to make a better life for himself and his family.
Polish people came to this country. They ended up in Hamtramck at Chrysler. The Arab people ended up in Dearborn and worked for Ford because they had supervisors that spoke dual languages. Unfortunately, the Chaldeans didn't have that privilege, and they were forced to go into business. And they went into the business they only knew, which was the food business.
Tom George came to America in 1927 and opened a small grocery business on East Palmer. His youngest son, Mike, was born and raised in the city and learned the valuable lessons of work and charity from his parents.
And I can tell you that as many a night when I closed my father's store and I went home, and there was just scores of people, there that just come in from either got off the plane or got off the boat or off the train. And they were there, and my mother and father were feeding him and clothing him. And it distressed me at the time because we weren't very wealthy either. I mean, every dollar we ever made seemed to go to the community. However, as I got older, I realized the importance of that people have to help people.
This story of giving back is repeated countless times in the Chaldean community. Old immigrants helping new immigrants, families helping families. Even after Mike and his brother Sharkey successfully established their own milk business, they never forgot the sacrifices of their parents.
And whether it was my sisters or my brother or myself, every dollar we made went to my father. And that's the way it was. I mean, our tradition is the father is the head of the family. He supports him, he runs it, and everything comes to him. And it was a great feeling.
Tom George died more than 40 years ago, but his pioneering spirit lives in a new generation of Chaldean Americans.
And I say to myself, how did it really come about? How are we so fortunate, to be able to come from such humble roots, to become, very successful in this country? And I can speak not only for my family and myself and my brothers and sisters, but for all the Chaldeans. They really did it because they were determined, they were aggressive, and they worked hard. And they did it with real integrity and honesty. And I believe in that. And I sincerely believe that the community will continue to grow as long as they maintain those principles.
Integrity, honesty, a strong work ethic, principles that guide the Chaldean entrepreneurial spirit. Nearly 2 out of 3 Chaldean families own their own business. Duty, honor, country. The service of Chaldean Americans in the armed forces has a long and distinguished history dating back to World War II.
Dear Mom, while we waited for landing boats, we looked at the beach. It had bomb craters all over. A house nearby was blown to bits and roofless.
Peter Essa was the only Chaldean American to fight in the Allied invasion of France. Just a few years earlier, he rode the streetcar to Dearborn with his father, Jeju. Peter was a student at the Henry Ford Trade School. His father worked in pressed steel at the Rouge plant. His parents immigrated to this country in 1915. drawn in part by a $5 a day job at Ford. In 1944, their American-born son was on bloody Omaha Beach.
Bodies all over, floating all over, and bombs exploding all around us. And I couldn't believe what was happening, but I figure I'm not going to last very long because I see all the other bodies, you know, laying around.
Private Essa survived the beach, but his entire platoon was killed in action the next day. His harrowing experience is preserved in a letter he wrote to his parents from a field hospital.
We opened fire. Each 20-round magazine I loaded, I killed or wounded 7 or 8 Germans. I was nervous reloading. I dropped a lot. The Germans were coming fast and they made plenty of noise. Our sergeant was shot through the head and died instantly. We ran like mad dogs. My buddy was killed. He had about 4 holes through his back. We kept running until we came to a hedgerow. This is where a machine gun got me right in the ankle, breaking all the bones.
The horrors of combat expressed in a letter written more than a half-century ago. Today, the images of war and suffering are immediate, personal.
We are attached to that country because it is the country of our forefathers. And when we see the war devastating that country, we are really devastated also.
But Iraqis throughout their history have always bounced back, always. And we feel proud that we will bounce back and we will make our mark again in the Middle East and in history. I always say the sparks come from Iraq. The sparks of civilization came from there. Many of the most ancient things you can think of started in Ur, in Babylon, and therefore it is not unusual that this will happen again in Iraq, and the Iraqis will be the new spark that illuminate the future for our young generation and for others.
In order to understand the Chaldean community, you must first understand their deep and abiding Christian faith. It is not only their source for spiritual guidance, but also the nucleus of the community. A minority religion in their native land, Chaldeans belong to the Eastern Rite of the Roman Catholic Church. There are 5 Chaldean parishes in the Detroit area, including St. Joseph's in Troy. This parish is home to the first American-born Chaldean priest, Father Andrew Yunan.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
Despite growing up in the U.S., Father Yunan speaks one of the oldest languages in the world, Aramaic.
بسبب ديوخ إلى ملكوثة وحيلة وتشبحت العالم عالمين آمين.
His father, Case, immigrated from Baghdad to Detroit in 1978.
I was really shocked by the way the United States is, you know. I read a lot about it. I watched almost every movie that I can see in Iraq, you know, from the United States, but it was still a big shock. It's a very big country and different culture.
As Case successfully assimilated into his new life in America, he wanted to make sure his son understood his background, his heritage.
You know, the way I raised him, you know, I raised him in a way that he'll know about our culture, our history. And I told him, you know, his blood is not 100% American pure blood. He goes back to a lot of other towns and villages in Iraq, a lot of cultures, very deep in history. And I used to bring him to church every Sunday, encourage him to learn the language, Aramaic language, and somehow he fell in love with all that and he became a priest.
Preserving the Aramaic language is a challenge for American-born Chaldeans. It is also a challenge in Iraq. Case Yunan has personally helped schools in northern Iraq to teach subjects in the ancient language.
If we can't preserve it in the place of origin, we cannot preserve it anywhere else. It has to be preserved there. That's where the roots are. And if it disappears there, there's no hope that the language will stay. And it's a very, very rich language, beautiful.
Diane DeAugustini wants her 2 young children to understand the Chaldean culture and her family's background.
My daughter, who's 9, is really interested in the culture and asks a lot of questions. Besides the language, there's so many things I want them to learn. Chaldeans love their food and they're proud of all of their recipes. Their weddings, they're a gregarious group. You know, they love to celebrate, they love to be with family, and they have their very deep religious faith as well. And I really try and talk to my kids about all of that.
Diane's parents, Salim and Suham, immigrated to Detroit in the 50s and ran a grocery store in Highland Park. She never really got to know her dad, one of the most respected members of the Chaldean business community.
It was January 18th, 1970, and an individual came in and robbed him and thereafter shot him several times. I remember it very vividly, and I think anytime a child goes through a traumatic experience, it might just be frozen in their mind.
Diane's loss is shared by many families. More than 200 Chaldean business owners have been killed on the job, a sad history that ultimately influenced Judge DeAugustini's career path.
When someone you love is taken in that fashion, as a criminal scenario, you want to know everything about it, and you want to understand why could something like that happen. And it taught me that was something that I wanted to be involved in, to at least do my small part, whatever it is, in the system, which is when I graduated from law school and then went on to the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office.
The former Oakland County prosecutor was elected to the bench in 2000, an emotional win made possible by the support of the Chaldean community and the memory of her father.
Everyone knew what a wonderful human being he was, and they took that into consideration, that they wanted to see that happen for me. They knew my mom and the family that I came from. It was truly an overwhelming experience for me on victory night when they were crying and they were overjoyed over my victory. And I will forever be thankful for that memory. It is a great memory for me.
Who would say that faith is very important in our culture?
It's very easy for us to assimilate in this very diverse culture, very diverse mix of cultures. But we want to amalgamate, to borrow a chemical expression. We don't want to dissolve. And how to do that is the challenge.
It is a challenge Summer Kassab is facing in the West Bloomfield schools. That is the reason she's involved in CARE, Chaldean Americans Reaching and Encouraging. On this day, she is reaching out to a group of middle schoolers, encouraging them to explore their history, trying to answer the basic question, who are we?
For me, being Chaldean is going to church on Sundays. Got to be respectful to not only your elders, to the youngers, to everybody, and just stay close with your family, keep in touch.
Everyone cares about me, all cousins, they care for everyone.
I think these Chaldean students here, it's important that they identify with another or a fellow Chaldean who's been in those same situations that they've been in. Many times they can identify with me. I feel that bringing those together and being able to explain through certain experiences, personal experiences, is what makes these kids connect to you.
Making a connection to kids and the broader community. Recently, the Chaldean News was created to bring stories of people, places, and a rich culture to readers in southeastern Michigan. And soon, the public will be able to enter 5,000 years of history at the Chaldean Community Cultural Center. The sprawling new facility is being built on the grounds of the Shenandoah Public Golf Course and Banquet Facility in West Bloomfield.
Well, I'll tell you, I personally am so proud because I was born in the old country in Tilkif, and coming here and seeing what we've been able to accomplish and what this Shenandoah facility is going to do and bring everything to fruition.
The 92,000 square foot facility will serve as a gathering spot for the community and a museum for the public. The goal is to immerse visitors in an ancient culture through exhibits, artifacts, and recreations of Babylonian life.
It's a great, rich
culture and heritage that we want our children and our grandchildren to appreciate and to know about and feel proud about, and also to share this with our neighbors and all our friends and all the community here in the metropolitan Detroit area and elsewhere throughout the world.
We are really building something beyond a building. We are going to put life in it. We are going to put programs in it. We're going to put stories in it. We're going to put magnets in it for our youth, our upcoming generation, to come and discover their roots, bounce back to culture.
I, Anne, take you, Hadir, to be my husband.
A new generation of Chaldean Americans are beginning their journey, understanding the sacrifices and contributions of the pioneers who built the road of opportunity they now walk. But these young people are making their own path, realizing their own dreams. Yosef and Gule Nather's oldest son is a prominent tax attorney in California. Another son is in computer technology. Their youngest graduated from the University of Michigan with a business degree. Mary Kassa's mother, Habuba, lived to see what every immigrant prays and works for, the building of a better life for the next generation.
The happiest day that my mother had was when my second daughter graduated from Wayne State School of Medicine. After graduation and, you know, all the hoopla of graduating, she went to my mother. She says, "Grandma, now I'm a doctor."
What we are accomplishing today is hugely different from what was accomplished in the 30s and 40s. But without the 30s and 40s, we could have not accomplished anything in the 50s or the 60s, and without the 90s and the new decade, we will never accomplish what may come 50 years from now. So every generation has had an opportunity to lay foundations for the next generation.
Hope, faith, work, family. This is the Chaldean community. This is their story.